Oh, hi! Welcome back, Culinary Kids. We've got a new book that we're going to be working out of for the next couple of weeks. It calls How to Cook in 10 Easy Lessons. And let me tell you, I'm impressed with this. It's by Amy Sweetser. With a name like Sweetser, you know she's got to be a good cook, right? But anyway, this is a marvelous book. It's available here in the library. And we're going to follow one of these lessons today, and we're going to work on our knife skills. So, we're going to start off with everyone's favorite garlic. Wait, did I hear people go, ooh, garlic? Yeah, garlic can be a little pungent, and that's true, but it adds some great things to flavor. Great flavor to soups and stews and casseroles, and after all, where would we be without tacos and spaghetti and pizza without garlic? Nowhere. That's why it's in all of those. So what we're going to do right now is see this papery outer bit? You don't have to peel that. You just rub it in your hands and it comes right off. And this is a garlic bulb. Now this is very, very important. If the recipe calls for 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, they're not talking about one of these. Each bulb involves up to 20 different cloves of garlic. So you want to make sure that if it asks for 2 cloves of garlic, you use 1 and maybe 2 of these. You don't use 2 of these. The reason why we know this, my husband, when we were dating, he thought he would impress me by cooking me a meal. Oh, so romantic. Well, it was, kinda. Except he didn't understand the difference between this and this. And he made a hummus that was so strong with garlic. The downstairs neighbors complained, birds fell out of the sky. It was absolutely noxious, or it was terrible. I walked into the apartment and my eyes started watering. You can have too much of a good thing. So this recipe calls for 2, just 2, of our cloves of garlic. Now, what you want to do, you want to separate the paper off. And that's what I've done. I'm going to take my paper, and it's not real paper, we just call it paper. It's very thin skin. We're just going to throw that away. But you still have a little bit of a rough papery covering. So what I'm going to do is just put this in my hands and roll them back and forth for a minute or so. We're going to get a little bit more of that paper off. And it comes right off. And then I'm going to show you the trick, or at least what I like to call a trick. This is a big knife. You want to be very careful in using this, but it's what you want to do, because what we're going to do is we're going to slice a little bit and then we're going to crush our garlic cloves. Now, by crushing it, you really get all the flavor out. So I'm going to cut off just the bottom part. Just cut it most of the way through, and now I'm going to peel a little bit more of that stubborn. This is the papery part that doesn't want to quite leave, but you don't want it in your soup. So we're going to peel this apart and just leave the good garlic bit. Takes just a minute to do. And now we're going to cut the tail off, just this tiny little rooty part. Just give that a slice. And when that comes off, you're going to get a little bit more paper coming off. We're going to do the same thing with this tiny bulb. You got the loose paper, the easy stuff off, then you're going to give it just 2 little cuts, and it's going to make it easier to peel the rest of it. And see, it just comes right off, very easy. Now, this is the fun part. You're going to put these garlic bulbs, or not bulbs, cloves. You're going to give each one 1 cut, just like that. And yeah, we get a little bit more paper that's ready to come off. So we get that off. Going to do the same thing to the other one. All right, now I've got 4 pieces of garlic here. This is a nice heavy knife, and it's a Japanese cook's knife. It's nice, it's heavy, it has a lot of big flat space here. What I'm going to do is use my knife to crush my garlic. So I do that by putting my garlic together like this, and I'm putting my blade flat on top of my garlic, like so, but I'm careful to make sure the handle sticks out from my workspace, because when I smash this, it's going to drive this as flat as possible. So with holding it with my right hand, because I'm right-handed, that gives me the most control, I'm going to line these up, and then I'm just going to take my fist and go, yeah! That's fun. Cooking is so much fun. Now look at that, I've got some crushed garlic, but what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start chopping. Now, to do this chopping, I'm going to hold the point down. I'm going to keep my hand on top of the blade, and I'm just going to rock back and forth, taking that crushed garlic and turning it into minced garlic. Woo, and it is nice and pungent, let me tell you. This is going to add so much great flavor to our soup. And if you've ever had a really serious cold, this is a great soup for you because it's full of vitamins. And even, you know how sometimes when you have a cold, you can't really taste much? This is so flavorful, even with a cold, you'll be able to taste it. And when you have a cold, onion and garlic are great for your body because it helps your body fight off infections. It boosts your immune system. So I'm going to take this, scrape it right into my bowl like this. Now, I'm going to do much the same thing with garlic's big cousin, onion. Now this is a sweet yellow onion. You can use whatever you like, but this is a Vidalia onions. They're sweet, almost sweet like apples, and they're my favorite. I've gotten all my loose paper off, and now I'm going to take off the top that grows up, scoot that to one side. Now I'm going to take off the rooty bit, push that to one side, and now I'm going to take this and cut it in half. Boom. Now, you see I still got a little bit of this paper. This paper peels right off. So I'm going to take a layer of onion, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that to peel off the last remaining paper from my piece of onion. And see how easy it peels off? Now, you notice with both these halves, I have a flat edge. Whenever possible, when you're working with vegetables, if you have a flat edge, that gives you a lot more power and a lot more confidence. So what I'm going to do is working with one half at a time. First, I'm going to make 3 incisions and our slices. So I'm going to go, remember, I'm putting, to show you easier, here's my onion, the point goes down, and I'm just going to slice down. 1, 2, and then after I've done 2 slices, what I'm going to do is turn it a little bit, and I'm going to go the other way and turn it into dices. Dicing means smaller cubes. So I'm going to go slice, 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 and slice. And I'm going to take all of this and put it in right in here with our garlic. And these come out into smaller little bits. They'll just cook up beautifully when we cook them. Same thing. 1, 2, and then turn it. And now I'm going to cut at right angles or perpendicular So 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I'm keeping my fingers curled to keep them, I don't want to get myself cut. 5, 6. Then I'm going to scoop this up, put it right in my preparation bowl, and that'll be ready. All right. Next, we're going to talk about cutting carrots. Now, I love carrots. These are marvelous. But the first thing you want to do with your carrots is this outer skin, the part that's been with the dirt, it's pretty nutritious, but it's also been in dirt. So I like to peel them. Now, there's 2 different kinds of peelers you can use. I just happen to like this one. And what we're going to do is you're going to hold it up at an angle. You're going to take your peeler and you're just going to run it down, and you get a nice thin edge, but you've left most of the carrot behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now up here where I'm holding it, turn it around and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's the bigger part. It took a little bit more effort. I'm going to put that to one side because I'm going to slice it in a minute. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're using the blade of this, but it's a safety. You can't, well, I won't say you can't cut yourself, but you have to really work hard at cutting yourself with peeling with one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now I'm going to take my peelings. I'm going to push all this off to one side so I have a nice clear place to work. Now, with my carrot, the first thing I'm going to do is do what we call topping and tailing. I'm going to take the bottom part off and the top part off. I'm going to do that with both of these. Slide them off because we're not going to use them. But, you know, I am going to save these, and I'm going to use my peelings to go into my compost pile, because that will make for a great garden. If you don't have a compost pile, and this is the time of year to start one, if you're a gardener anyway. Now, remember what I said about having a nice flat edge to work on. Right now, I'm going to take this long carrot and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to kind of cut it into, I may have to slide my blade a little bit. And I have 2 halves. Now what I'm going to do with these 2 halves is I'm going to do that very same thing again, but it's going to be a little bit more stable because the flat side is down. So again, plant my point, bring it down, and bring it down again. I'm going to do it to the other side. So now it's very easy to just go chop, chop. We're just doing slices across. And we're turning my lovely carrot into nice little bite-sized carrot cubes. See how easy that is? And now I'm going to put these in another container, just like this. I've got one more carrot to do. You know, one of the great things I learned cooking with my grandmother and my mother and my older sister was no matter how good a cook is, it really helps to have a sous chef. Someone who can do the chopping and the washing and that sort of thing. And you know what? They'll love you for it. It's absolutely one of the nicest things you can do for a cook is say, hey, you want me to do some chopping for you, or slicing or dicing. So these are great skills to develop. So remember, plant your knife, the point down. Keep your fingers out of the way. And now you have 2 carrot halves. Once again, I'm going to plant my knife, cut each half in half again, making it into quarters. And now I'm going to take my long carrot fingery things, or carrot sticks, and I'm going to cut, 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 slice, 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 slice. This I'm saving because I love to munch raw carrots. So sweet. Oh, so delicious. Oh, you can't beat a good fresh carrot. You just can't. Did you know this is about the time of year to start planting your carrots? Something to think about. Now we're going to cut celery. I'm going to do much the same. I'm going to cut the top of it off. I'm going to cut the bottom of it off. I'm going to do that to all my carrot pieces, my celery pieces. Now I washed everything first, of course. These don't have to be peeled, but I am going to take each slice and I'm going to slice it long ways down the middle. Again, long ways down the middle. And one more time, long ways down the middle. And now I'm just going to slice, 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 slice. See, I'm doing it all at once, so it goes very fast. Now, some really fancy professional chefs, they're like, it's very fast. I'm not that fast. And as I said, blood does not make a good sauce for vegetables. So I'm going to be slow, but safe. If you have to choose one, go with safe. If you ever become a professional chef, you have all the time in the world to pick up the speed. Now I'm going to take these lovely, lovely, lovely bits of celery and I'm going to put them in my prep jar, my prep dish. They go right in here. Now, once you learn how to slice and dice, you can slice and dice anything. Carrots and potatoes and any number of wonderful vegetables. But now here I am with all these great vegetables. What am I going to do with all of this? Well, we can make soup. Minestrone soup to be exact. And that's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to a nice pot. I'm going to salt. I'm going to get it good and hot. I'm going to add some olive oil. When that gets good and good and hot, I'm going to first saute my garlic and my onions. That'll take about 5 to 7 minutes to get them to the point where they're just right, just getting ready to turn brown. Because remember, brown means flavor. After about 5 minutes, I'm going to add my carrots, let them saute for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to add my carrots. After 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add some canned diced tomatoes, although you can use fresh tomatoes if you want. And I'm going to drain my cannellini beans, and I'm going to add my beef stock. Let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add some pasta. And what we're going to have is a wonderful minestrone soup, great for a nice, cool winter evening.